Welcome back, beloved. This is Between Lovers, the Heart and Soul Chronicles. I'm T, the nocturnal philosopher, and your sacred guide for the evening. You already know I couldn't leave you hanging. Part one, it might have stirred some things up. And I know it could have left you with questions that maybe even have a quiet little ache that you can't quite name. That was by design, because some truths need time to breathe before we go deeper. But now that you've sat with it, let's talk. Now, let me say this before I go any further. Dating yourself is not optional, it's crucial. Because if you don't know how to hold yourself, you'll confuse anyone who does. And you'll let someone else set the standard and feel obligated to meet theirs instead of honoring your own. Let me be clear, nobody made you. So nobody should ever feel entitled to take you if and when they should choose to leave. You are your own top shelf. And I'm not talking looks, coins, or curated aesthetics. I mean your free, soulful, grounded self. The version of you you've never fully met. The one so rich in peace, so anchored in presence, you can hear your bones humming. This. This is who I really am. That's what the bones say. If no one ever told you, let me be the first. Learning to be a friend and a lover to yourself will completely change the game on who and what you attract. The place I'm calling you into is not fantasy. It's the land of milk and honey, the garden within, where love is real, mystery is sacred, and desire feels like alignment again. Spoken word, the intimacies before the touch. They told us sex was the highest form of intimacy. Maybe they lied, because nothing will humble you more than being undressed emotionally. Nothing lights the body up like being understood without having to explain. And nothing feels safer than being wanted for who you are, not just what you offer. Kiss my thoughts. Hear my fears. Laugh from your chest. Let silence be sweet, not awkward. Look at me like you've read every chapter and still chose this ending. Because, baby, real intimacy is when someone listens so well, you forget how to hide. That's the foreplay we forgot. The kind that lasts. The kind that touches parts of you no hand ever could. Now, let's talk about it. What's actually sexy? You know what's sexy? Open, honest conversation. It's the eye contact that lingers, the voice that softens when they ask, "What are you afraid of?" It's the loving discovery, when someone doesn't just love your body, they study your emotions. It's sacred discovery, where intimacy becomes a ceremony, not a transaction, where vulnerability gets crowned, not punished. And if the only thing you've ever learned is to offer your body, this is the season to begin again. Okay, mystery isn't distance, it's depth. The parts of you that unfold slowly, intentionally, it's like a soft reveal. Mystery keeps it spicy, not because you're hiding, but because you're growing. Ask better questions. Take your time with answers. And let your presence feel like an invitation, not a checklist. That's what keeps them reaching. That's what keeps the garden alive. So you might be wondering how to date again, even if you're still healing. You've got to date yourself first. Dating yourself isn't just cute rituals and soft nights. It's not bubble baths and perfectly lit self-care stories. Dating yourself means seeing yourself. Really seeing yourself. It's choosing not to numb the loneliness with spineless relationships. It's refusing to hide behind attachment, detachment, or anti-commitment trends. Jumping from person to person isn't freedom. It's often a lack of self-discipline disguised as empowerment. So sit with yourself. Learn your patterns. Build your standards. Because until you're honest about your needs, you'll keep attracting people who benefit from your confusion. You want love to feel different? It starts with how you love yourself. Facing the patterns you've been calling personality. The emotional habits you excuse as, "This is just how I am." not realizing or sometimes not caring that those very ways might be pushing people away, that they may find you difficult, emotionally volatile, even entitled to the point that you center only your story and your trauma as if it's the only one that counts. But no one tells you because you seem emotionally unbalanced, because you lack the emotional range to understand someone else's experience, because you're emotionally tone deaf. And when someone tries to show you that, you crumble, explode, deflect, or retreat. Growth demands self honesty, and maturity asks not, why are they treating me this way? But, is this dynamic reflecting who I am or what I refuse to heal? Sometimes when we call love, and what we call love, is really a mirror, not of our truth, but of our unhealed wounds. If we keep finding ourselves in the same story, it's worth asking whether the connection is a reflection of our growth or our resistance to it. It's just time to ask yourself, do I like the way I show up in relationships? Am I attracted to the way I treat myself? Would I want to date me emotionally, spiritually, and energetically? Only when you're honest with yourself can the fun even begin. And let's be real, you'd be so much more fly if you gave to yourself what you're giving away, hoping to be chosen. What if you chose you like that? That's what dating yourself really is. Not proving you're lovable, but remembering that you already are. And let's not get it twisted. Dating yourself is just as important inside of a marriage or a partnership. Because the moment you stop being intrigued with yourself, you start expecting someone else to carry the weight of your fulfillment. But when you're lit from within, you invite them into overflow, not obligation. Now, if you've been with someone for years and now you're stepping back into the world of dating, just pause for a second. Not out of fear, but out of reverence. Because who you were in that relationship is not who you are now. And who you're becoming deserves to be chosen with intention, especially by you. Not because you're broken, but because your standard is being rewritten. You need time to rest in yourself, to get curious about your desires again, to meet your own needs without turning those into ultimatums. And if the dating pool feels dry right now, maybe it's not punishment. Maybe it's preservation. Maybe God is guarding your garden until you stop offering fruit to those who never came to grow with you. All right, now this one is for the couples who've forgotten how to date and the need for it. Sometimes people have been together so long that they just don't think that they have to date one another anymore. They're the ones who've built lives together, raised children, shared beds, but drifted emotionally, but quietly. People change, and that's not betrayal, that's human. You may not even realize what your partner enjoys anymore: their foods, their music, their version of peace. But no one talks about how, as time goes by, your taste changes. You may no longer like those foods, clothes, or events, but you keep going anyway because your partner keeps reminding you of who you used to be and what you used to like, reminding you of the old you, the one they may not have even fully loved, but still cling to. Because learning the new you might mean facing the truth. The new you might not choose them. And attraction? Well, that shifts too, especially after you've fallen out of love with who they were and start becoming who you're meant to be. It doesn't make you the villain, but ignoring it, that's what spreads the infection. Start over. Start slow. Start curious. Let them meet who you are now and ask if they're still willing to grow with you. And if they're not, well, that's okay too. Take the experience and leave the pain. Desire doesn't come from the past, it rises from the present. Okay, now I want to give you guys a few dating tips, but from a soul lens. This isn't play hard to get or text back in 2 hours. This is how to date soul first. Ask better questions. What kind of peace do you need more of right now? What version of yourself are you trying to meet? And what makes you feel safe, seen, and playful? Share without performing. Speak from your inner world, not your social media timeline. What you need, not what's trending. Take yourself on real dates, not errands, real joy, real presence. Show up for yourself. Dress nicely. Be kind to yourself. Slow down the physical. Let conversation be foreplay. Hold hands like it's a new language. Be new again. Reintroduce yourself. Say to your partner, let's act like we've never met and fall in love with who we are now. And let's not forget, desire is also a flirt, a tease, a laugh that lingers a second too long, a glance across the kitchen while folding laundry, a playlist made for no one but you. It's playfulness wrapped in presence, and sacred doesn't mean serious all the time. Sometimes the most gentle thing you can do is laugh mid kiss, dance in your bathrobe, or text the one who made you cry from joy, laughter, and from the softness of being seen. Not the drama one, the one who knew your silence had a heartbeat. Yeah, that one. Don't be shy now. Desire may go quietly, but she never leaves. She's just waiting for you to invite her to play. And this isn't only about long term love. You're not always just rediscovering yourself. Sometimes you're meeting yourself for the very first time because you've always been carrying someone else. And when you've been doing that, well, sometimes it just gets in the way of finding ourselves. But always give your time to you first. Because the old version of you was always giving away your time, your energy, your heart, just giving it away. But now you finally get to keep some of it for you, to answer to you, to perform for you. But now it's just you. And that's not loneliness. That's a sacred beginning. And to the ones who are still unsure but holding on, you're not broken, you're becoming. Whether you're in love, in limbo, or finally in yourself, this season matters. Flirt with your own life. Fall in love with your own reflection. Wink at your healing. Because desire lives in truth, in curiosity, in becoming the kind of soul who can love and be loved, with nothing left to prove. Before we go, this episode marks the perfect close to season 2 and to the Divine Relationship series that's held so many of our hearts these past few weeks. We've journeyed together through the ache of disconnection, the illusion of performance, the deep remembering of intimacy that starts long before the bedroom. We talked about the weight of unspoken needs, the grief of growing apart, and the courage it takes to love yourself deeply, even when you're not yet sure how to be loved by another. From emotional survival patterns to rekindling mystery, from codependence to sacred return, this entire series has been an invitation to see yourself clearly, to love from a healed place, to stop confusing comfort for connection, and to stop waiting for someone else to make you feel alive. This episode, let it be your reminder. Desire isn't gone, it's evolving, just like you. And if you haven't yet, go catch up on all the episodes. Listen again if you need to, and this time, take notes for your soul. If you say you want a passionate, reciprocal relationship, you cannot be a coward about it. Yes, I said a coward. You must be willing to do the work on yourself and with them, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because the moment it gets real is often the most common moment when people retreat or run. But switching partners won't absolve you of your responsibility to yourself. But your best life, your deepest love, that version of you haven't met yet, is right on the other side of that fear. So climb with grace, with truth, with both hands holding your heart. You're not who you were. Desire speaks a new language now, and it starts with how you love yourself when no one's watching. So take your time. Touch your own soul first. And when someone else comes along to add to it, you'll already know what love feels like because you've already met. All right. If you guys need more, go deeper. Read the Loving Discovery book or the Sacred Discovery book. Both are available on my website, TikTok, and Amazon. Or listen, maybe it's time to sign up for a course. Go ahead to the website. Or you can begin relationship maintenance sessions. It's never too late until it is. Anyway, however you're growing, if I can assist, believe me, I've got you. Until next time, walk gently, walk boldly, walk soulfully. Peace.